Now time for the 7 things you'll be talking about today. Number 7.
SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey opposes Charles Bediako's NCAA eligibility lawsuit, arguing that allowing former pros to return would undermine college sports integrity, which is it's quite the argument after this year that we just saw. So, okay, there we go. So it would also create some unfair advantages and potentially would allow Alabama's Ty Simpson to return, but to play for the University of Tennessee if things don't go the way he wants in the NFL draft. I've been using the LeBron James to Ohio State argument, but yeah, this is another good one. Like, how much of this stuff are you going to allow? I saw a bunch of message boards or screenshots of message boards, so I'm not a nerd, that shows that a lot of people want to leave the SEC in Alabama.
Number 6.
The Gulf of America Act has passed an Alabama House committee, and I got to tell you, it's such an easy layup. It is such an easy layup for everyone to just say, okay, that's fine. But Marilyn Lands, she is not going to allow that to happen. No, she is not. She is the Democratic State Representative in Madison. And she is making it clear that we did not clear this with Mexico, guys. Can we clear this with Mexico? Because it is very important that Mexico agree with this, which sounds like a completely insane thing for someone running for office. And if I was running against her, I would say, look, I'm for the Gulf of America. Marilyn Lands, she's for asking Mexico if they're okay with Gulf of America. That's what I would do.
Number 5.
U.S. Representative Barry Moore, also candidate for United States Senate, Barry Moore, is very clear here. He wants to know why Democrats, he wants you to know, why Democrats are fixated on things like race and other things when we're having a conversation about voter ID. And he has some theories, and I think he is correct. And his theory is, well, they're playing the race card because they have nothing else. The SAVE Act is on the table. There have been polls that have indicated that it is going very, 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 very well when it comes to explaining this to the American people. And we've seen Democrats play the race card repeatedly. Representative Raskin out of Wisconsin yesterday said that if the SAVE Act were to pass and voter ID were required, it would set women's voting back. Look, I'm already in favor. You okay, convinced?
Number 4.
Alabama lawmakers passed the Child Predator Death Penalty Act. And Governor Kay Ivey, I don't know why they said this, but the headline at AL.com is absolutely awesome. I kind of wish this was true. I wish it was true, because the way I read this is a little bit different. Ivey looks forward to signing execution for child rapists in the law. The way I read this was that Kay Ivey was like, yeah, I can't wait to sign these death warrants for these people. I can't wait to get this done. I cannot wait. But the bill would make rape, sodomy, and sexual torture of a child punishable by the death penalty. Alabama is one of many states that have been taking this up. This one came to light after that Bibb County situation, which was absolutely horrible, where there was basically a child sex trafficking ring inside a bunker with as many as 10 victims, some as young as 3. Even a bunch of anti-death penalty people signed up.
Number 3.
Doug Jones, the cowardly caretaker, former junior senator in an ill-fitting suit who looks like he just woke up and stole his shoes from a homeless person who will never be governor, vowed on an X live stream to oust, quote-unquote, crazy Alabama Public Library Service board members and return sexually explicit books to the children's section of your local library. Man, this guy needs to get off the internet. I mean, you want to talk about why are these Democrats taking on these 70-30 issues so hard? I'm going to put porn back in the library. Okay, all right, Doug, thank you. Thank you. You know who's happy about seeing this? Tommy Tuberville, because Tommy Tuberville's the governor-elect. This is only helping him. What a lunatic.
Number 2.
All right, Democrats have 10 demands for ICE if they're going to fund the Department of Homeland Security. And they're all pretty much non-starters. Really. No more masks. No more judicial warrants. Or excuse me, you have to have a judicial warrant. Meaning administrative warrants, which are warrants, are not good enough because they want judges to be like, I'm not going to sign that. All you need to do is go look at what happened with Don Lemon. It's a perfect example of why they want that. They want to cause more chaos. They want they want no more masks. They want to be able to identify the Border Patrol agents because they want to ruin their lives and make them afraid to do it. They want to make sure that people aren't going into schools, child care facilities, churches, and the only time they are going into those places are when people run in. So they want to make sure that their jobs are harder and less safe. That's what they want. And you're going to see a lot of this because this fight is coming, and I think it's going to be a tough one.
Now, time for the number 1 thing you'll be talking about today.
So Alabama's Attorney General urged that Republicans not give in to this nonsense because it will hinder law enforcement and endanger officers. Katie Britt, the United States Senator, Alabama's junior senator, she is leading up the Republican DHS talks. So you're going to see a lot of Katie Britt in the near future. They view her as someone who can get Democrats on board. And she'll be out there, I guess, leading the fight here on the Republican side. She seems very, very interested in getting a deal here, but not interested in making a lot of concessions. There is a story out about Katie Britt. I think it was in the New York Times, excuse me if I'm wrong about that, where she talks about that story about the 5-year-old. And Katie Britt did what you're supposed to do as a leader. Katie Britt heard there's a story about a 5-year-old that has been arrested and put in handcuffs and thrown to the back of a cop car after being used for bait. And she's like, oh, I need to figure this out. So she reached out to the White House and said, tell me about this. I want to know more about this. Which makes a lot of sense because she's a senator and she's doing oversight and she's doing it responsibly. She's not crashing the gates at the White House and demanding to see the guy at a detention facility or something like that. She talked to them and said, okay, I understand the reasoning. So she's taking a lot of heat because she actually went and got information about a story and then made a decision about the story as opposed to screaming about the story and saying a 5-year-old was used as bait when really the 5-year-old was abandoned by their father and rejected by their mother. But, take that as you see it. And so Katie Britt is going to be the point of the spear here. So expect to see a lot of her on your television as they try to figure out how they're going to get the rest of the government funded. Now, as for me, I've already made the bet that the government will not get funded by the 13th of March. February. But I also made the bet that it will get funded by March. So we will see DHS shut down, I believe, next week. I just don't think it goes on very long. This is just gamesmanship, and Katie Britt is in on the conversation right now. So that's where we are. That's what's happening. Those are the 7 things you should be talking about today. We'll get some more of your thoughts on the other side. Stay tuned right here. It's Dale Jackson and WVNN.
Get WVNN's Dale Jackson's 7 things you should be talking about today right in your email box every morning. Go to yellowhammernews.com and sign up today.